Hello everybody, my name is Walter and this is episode 31 of my Redstone Commands series. In this episode I want to cover the title command. Now this command is used to temporarily display a title to players. This can be just as a normal title in the middle of the screen with an optional subtitle, or this can be right above the hotbar as an action bar. The text itself is JSON text, so you can format it further. And this might be rather interesting for adventure map makers who want to tell a story that is separated into different chapters, or if you want to separate different rooms in your manor or whatever, and give the player feedback where they are at the moment. So when they enter the room, they get, now you enter in the kitchen or whatever. So just a few ideas. Anyway, let's get started with the syntax. Now, this command comes with three functionalities: setting the duration for the display, setting the actual display, and resetting. Independent of what you want to do, you start with the name of the command, title, and then specifying the target or targets. Those must be players or you will get an error message. So you can use a player name here or target selectors for players. So the self or the all players. If you go with the all entities, you will have to limit the type to players again. Now, let's start with setting the duration. So after target, you have the word times. And then you have 3 times: the fade in, the stay, and the fade out. The fade in is how long does it take until the display is fully visible. The stay is how long is it displayed in full. And then fade out, how long does it take until it completely disappears again. The times only apply to the title and subtitle. They don't apply to an action bar, unfortunately. Furthermore, you can use 3 different units. There is tick, which stands for game tick, or a 20th of a second. Then there are seconds, which are 20 game ticks, and days, which is 24,000 game ticks, so Minecraft days. To use those units, you write the number and then directly followed by a T for tick, an S for second, or a D for day. The default values for those times are half a second or 10 game ticks for the fade in, then 70 ticks or 3.5 seconds for the actual display, and then a second or 20 game ticks for the fade out. Next functionality, setting a display. So again, title and then the targets. And then you have either title, subtitle, or action bar, followed by the actual JSON text, which I covered in the previous episode already. So I won't go into details here. Now, there are some minute differences between the functionalities. With title, you set the text for the primary title in the middle of your screen, and you also trigger the display of the title and the subtitle accordingly to the times set. Subtitle is slightly different. You set the subtitle, but you don't trigger a display. So if there is no title visible at the moment, you don't see the change. If there is a title visible, you will simply directly change the currently visible subtitle. Action bar is similar to title again, so you set the text above the hotbar, and you also trigger the display of the text. And JSON text, as I already said, I covered in the previous episode. Third option, resetting. You start with title and the targets again, and then you have either clear or reset. Clear just clears the text in your titles, and reset clears the text and also resets the times back to the default values. That's the only real difference between the two options. Now let's have a look at the different functionalities involved. So let's start with title, subtitle, and action bar. So here I'm setting the primary title, which is split into 2 texts. The first is just normal text. The second is bold, underlined, and in dark red. And if I do this, you can see the title appears for a few seconds with the default times. Now I'm setting the subtitle, which is again straightforward text and then something in italics and in gray. And if I do this, you can see nothing appears since it doesn't trigger a display. If I again trigger the display, you can see, okay, now I have a subtitle there. Let's quickly clear that and let me show you what happens if I activate the title and the subtitle while the title is still running. You can see title and then subtitle appears to the currently displayed title, so you don't have to retrigger the title. Action bar is just some text obfuscated, and you will have to look down here right above the hotbar, and you can see, yeah, so the obfuscation is actually happening for the text. So that's the three options you have. Now let's play around with the timings involved. So we have here blink it and you miss it timing, so fade in and fade out are 0, and the stay time is 1 tick. So this could be used to give some, well, subconscious messages to the player, maybe if you want to go for something spooky. And you can see the message appears and directly disappears again. So you can't really read it consciously, but you could put some subconscious messages in there. Now, day-long annoyances. Here you could annoy the player for the entire Minecraft day by putting something directly in the middle of the screen. So 2 seconds fade in and fade out here, and 1 day as the stay time. So set this, and you can see it takes a while. 2 seconds is quite a while to fade in, and now I could wait much longer until this would disappear. But this helps me with showing you the difference between clear and reset. So clear removes the text, and the times remain. Reset removes the text, and the timing is back to the default timing, as you can see here. So, as I said, this is the only real difference between the two options. And with that, we have reached the end of this episode about the title command. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, see ya!